We are back now. How much more left do you have the Hebrew rye beer? Oh, you got a decent amount left. Okay, we will carry this on to the next video. How many parts did we do so far? I know I did food.
And food, we did one with the red stripe, one with the sneaky Pete, and then the bittersweet. So I guess we've done 3 beer plus your food.
Three beers plus the food, and this will be the last video of our show of the Food and Beer Whispers with James P. Madonna and Tom Mulvihill, the Beer Whisperer, from on location in Springfield, Missouri, and I am, of course, in northeastern New Jersey at the Newsletter Censored Research Center. And of course, the beginning of the show, we have decided to try a different format of breaking the show down into various videos upon special requests of some of our friends and viewers. This is based on the psychology that the human attention span is very short. Kelly Chen says it is around 20 minutes long. My partner, the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisman, says it's only 15 seconds long, but I think that's a toddler. I told Dr. Bill, I have a feeling 15-second attention span is with a toddler. You know, it's pretty sad if an adult only has a 15-second attention span. I would say that's pretty fucked up. Oh, you're joking.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. Well, I'll do a little Ronald Reagan. Well, I really don't recall.
I don't recall.
I really don't recall. Did you sell weapons to the Contras in Nicaragua, President Reagan? I don't recall. That's it. He really said that. Anyway,
watched those.
What?
I watched those hearings.
I don't recall. Mitt Romney, is all of your money offshore? Oh, I don't recall. Anyway.
As I say when I do my videos, but I digress.
Yes. You know, we'll see how it works. You know, maybe it's a blessing in disguise doing the show in different videos, different segments. You know what? But I'm never going to stop doing shtick. I'm never going to stop cracking jokes. You know, and I'm really dead serious. I'm not going to go into a so-called tirade. I'm going to keep calm and cool like a cucumber. And I'm just going to, like, be honest. You know, I love to crack jokes. I don't take anything that seriously. I don't like to take life seriously. I don't believe in fanaticism. You know, when somebody, you know, breathes and sleeps and just lives dedicated to just one subject. I mean, I know people that do nothing but talk about golf, or they talk about bass fishing, or they talk about, or maybe they talk about wine, maybe they talk about hot dogs, maybe they talk about beer, maybe they play tennis and talk about tennis all the time. I know somebody that just talks about deer hunting. Fanaticism is not normal, people.
You say deer humping?
Yeah, humping. Yeah, humping. Banging deer.
I know folks like that in Arkansas.
Well, they'll bang sheep. They'll bang any barnyard animal. But the point is,
where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
You know, I mean, there's somebody sent me a photo of a horse actually hugging its young female owner. And the girl is she has a nice looking body, and her gluteus maximus is rather shaped nice, and the horse has one of his legs wrapped around the girl's waist. And I made a joke. I typed in, gee, I wonder if I wonder if the horse has any other interests here. You know, of course, the ladies that posted the video posted the photo said, "Oh, isn't that sweet? A horse can hug its owner. A horse feels love for its owner." And the first thing I thought about is, a horse wants to bang her. A horse is a horse.
Well, I mean, he is hung like a horse.
He's hung like a horse. I mean, you got to remember the old show, "A Horse is a Horse," of course. So, Mr. Red. Remember Mr. Red?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilbur. I can't even do it. You do it great.
Wilbur.
Wilbur. But what was he saying about
Sharpay? Wilbur.
Wilbur? What's wrong, Wilbur? Who are we talking about before you mentioned the barnyard? I said something about sex. What were we talking about? You mentioned the barnyard.
We got lots of trade here.
You mentioned the barnyard. I was trying to explain something.
Oh,
I'm trying to remember.
People say we ramble. Is that why?
What?
Is that why some people say we ramble because of conversations like that?
Oh, I was trying to say something without going into a tirade. I mean, fanaticism. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. I'm back.
You know, life should be well balanced. Like Mr. Miyagi said to Daniel-san in the Karate Kid. Focus, Daniel-san. Balance.
I think the Karate Kid.
Yin and yang, balance. You must have various interests in life. Not just one thing. Fanaticism. Oh, yeah, I mentioned deer hunting, and you said deer humping?
Deer humping. Okay, so you're right. I was the one that took it the wrong direction.
Yeah, man, I don't like fanaticism. It's
bad.
Be well-rounded, get a life. I don't mean, become 500 pounds like Chris Christie, governor of New Jersey. Be well-rounded. You know what I mean. Listen, we are naturally freaking funny and witty. Everything is off the top of our head. Nothing is rehearsed. Nothing. The same thing when I do progressive discussions with the Reverend Dr. William J. Eisman. 100% unrehearsed, uncensored banter at its finest. And I do the same thing with Tom Mulvihill. I couldn't pick a better partner than Tom Mulvihill. And I will put this on worldwide video. I will make the statement. All right, now what do we got here? We have another Zawickle.
Yeah, I hate to beat folks over the head with it because I know I've drank this on this show before.
Well, I get to make jokes
but
about
it is a good light summer style, and quite frankly, I'm getting a little buzz. So.
All right, hold that still, man. Zawickle, like I always say, is good for your pickle. Zawickle,
yeah, I'm supposed to pronounce it Zawickle. Zawickle. It's the science is the numbers are the statistics are it's 5.1%, 19 IBUs. And this is a small brewery out of St. Louis, Missouri, called Urban Chestnut.
Oh, I've heard that before from you. Yes, and
look at that. That's nice. Look at that. That's a beautiful beer.
Beautiful beer. Beautiful color. And now, is this a reasonably priced local craft beer, sir?
It is. When these come in these larger bottles. They're 16.7 ounce bottles. They generally run in most places $8.99 a 4-pack.
Really? All right.
It's not,
all right. A little pricey, but you know what? It's a Zawickle. What do you want from me?
It's a Zawickle. I did do a little research on it. I'm not going to go into all of it with you, but what I found out was, we haven't drank it, I'll tell you.
As we must start off with science because we have a lot of very serious, very scientific beer expert elitists out there, and we mustn't get too sick. You must get too sick.
What I found out about it is that it's a regional German style. And it's not even a beer that's in all of Germany. It's in a specific region of Germany. The master brewer at Urban Chestnut is German-born, and they have two brewing series. The Reverence, which this logs to, and the Revolution. Now, the Reverend series, this is one thing I love about this brewery, is that they have this Reverend series just basically pays, homage or homage to brewing tradition. They take all the traditional styles and they brew them traditionally. The Zwickel, for instance, I don't know of any other American craft brewery that's doing a Zwickel. They also do a chestnut ale called Wingnut on their Revolution series, which is kind of that new, that new American craft brewery style of kind of taking old world styles and taking them in a different direction. And that's one thing I love about this brewery is that they do embrace the new stuff, but they also understand what made brewing great was tradition.
Yes, I'm all for tradition. Now, Tom, not to change the subject, but have you ever had any of these southern-based pecan or pecan beers? Pecan ales?
Yeah, actually, there is it's funny you say that because I had a beer a couple months ago from a Missouri brewery called Ferguson that did a pecan nut brown, and I bought a growler of it.
A growler. Is it pecan or pecan or pecan?
I say pecan.
All right. Up north, us Yankees say we say pecan.
I tell people a pecan is what you throw out at the rest stop. I eat a pecan, I throw away the pecan.
I use an empty orange juice, heavy plastic, sort of like a 1 liter bottle for emergency
there you go.
urinations, because you don't want to be caught in traffic when you have to go number one. You never want to be, don't want to pee in your pants, so you want to have that handy. Of course, you want to dump it out often,
No, I don't dump it out. I throw it away and start over, but
Yeah, we don't want we don't want the kids or the wifey or the significant other to think it's apple juice and
yes, that stuff ain't apple juice. No.
Okay.
It might have more alcohol than this beer has.
Now the pecan, I'm a lover of nuts. I mean, not human nuts, as long as they're safe and they're not psychopathic. Human nuts are okay. I mean nuts. I love nuts. The flavor, the aroma. So any beer or any ale made with a nut, I'm willing to try it. I would take a nut beer before a fruit beer, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about fruit beers. That Urban Chestnut has a chestnut ale called the Wingnut. That's just beautiful. It's just extremely tasty.
Now walnuts, you can make I'm sure you can make a craft beer out of walnut too. I love it, which might taste great. I mean, yeah, any nut flavored beer I would drink if it's a craft beer. Now, what about the pumpkin ales? Have you tried many pumpkin ales?
I have had a few. I'm not a huge fan, although I usually drink a couple of seasons just because they're out there. I tell you what I like to do with them, though, is in the past I've taken pumpkin ales and I've made it into rice pudding, which is very good. And I've also used them as a reduction sauce.
I wonder if when I make my homemade pumpkin pancakes, pumpkin sourdough pancakes.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
I wonder if I use pumpkin ale instead of water.
Yep. My wife has used them to make a beer bread, pumpkin ale beer bread. That is very nice.
Well, let me tell you what I did. I make homemade pizza dough in my Hitachi bread machine, and I added craft beer. This was it was a dark craft beer. I forgot which one I used, but I used it instead of water to make the pizza dough. And I know some wood burning brick oven pizzas. Sometimes you have a place that uses the beer dough, like Salem Brewery up in Salem, Massachusetts, has a beer pizza dough, put into a fiery brick oven. But that's when I had a big fight with the bartender. This young punk says to me, I get 2 pints of ale, of pumpkin ale. Speak of the devil. He says to me, and then they had something called Black Bat Stout. And the guy says to me, "What's the matter? You're gonna tip me?" I says, "I just got here, and I ordered two lousy pints, and you want me to tip you right away?" I mean, it's kind of like rude, you know, be a little pushy, asking somebody to tip you, you know. And here I thought I thought he wasn't from that part of New England. He was. You could tell he's from somewhere else, because people out there in New England are very nice. How rude of him to demand a tip for 2 pints. You know what? I won't go into a tirade, but I wanted to fracture his jaw in a million pieces. I'll give him a tip. This USDA grade A ham hock, and believe me, he won't get up. But I didn't do that because I would get arrested. Anyway, back to the Zowit.
But I digress. Yes, Zwickle, I'm still working on it.
Let's look at that beautiful. Yeah, let's take a gander at that beautiful color of the Zwickle. The Zwickle, why is it so expensive? Why is this?
You know, it is a little pricey, $8.99 for a 4-pack, but you know, it's kind of the way craft beers are going these days. But it is a fine beer, and it's got a lot of flavor, and I love the fact that when I pour this into a glass like this, I'm pouring a full pint, you know. It's almost like being in a pub. I'm home, I pour a full pint out, I've got a beautiful beer, it's just nice.
And you know what? You have a passion for high-quality craft beer. You have a love for it, which means a lot. The enthusiasm means a lot. You know, any subject where you have that much enthusiasm, like it could be somebody who's dedicated to studying animals and zoology. Any passion, you're going to excel, no matter what it is. You're dedicated. You'll have a love for it, and you will go out of your way to research it and learn it. And you know, more power to you. I mean, I always like to be colorful and controversial, and but when you tell the truth, my partner, the Reverend Bill, says, Tom, when you tell the absolute cold hard truth, you're automatically controversial. You don't have to try to be controversial.
That's true, actually. That's exactly true.
It's automatic. That's why we are a tad bit controversial right now.
No, I mean, I love this beer. I love beer. I've talked about this before. I mean, I think American craft beer, you know, without standing here and waving the flag and everything, but I think nobody in the world right now is in the same league as American craft brewers.
There's not as many.
The American craft brewers are doing the best stuff in the world right now, and I've said that several times in several videos, in several Facebook groups, and I've been disagreed with many times by many people, but I believe that wholeheartedly, that American craft brew is the best in the world right now.
I have not seen as many craft breweries that are in the United States. There's no other country in the world that has the massive number of craft breweries. Every corner of the United States, every state has its local craft breweries. And that is amazing how it's come, how long it has come, how far. It's very, I'm proud to say that. I mean, every state has its craft breweries.
Yes, you know, and some of these are bigger than others, and some of them are looking to go national, and others are just comfortable with a small neighborhood niche because they're doing fine their way. You know, one of those breweries is another one I have a growler for. Excuse me, out of St. Louis. Is called Civil Life Brewery out of St. Louis. And are you familiar with the term session ale, James?
Yes.
Session ale.
Please explain to the viewers.
Basically means a light ABV beer.
Okay.
And Civil Life, what their niche is they have several varieties of beers that range between 4.5% and 5.5%. You know, a lot of places aren't doing that. You know, they want to have these larger beers, which is great because I personally love them. But it's great that you've got a brewery out there that's making quality and tasty, flavorful beers that are also lighter in ABV that you can enjoy a lot more of. And that's Civil Life Brewery out of St. Louis. These guys are fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course, people will tell you that their local breweries are the finest in the country. I've heard people from San Francisco says we have some outstanding micro craft breweries out here, and then somebody told me this Oregon has a lot of heavy hitters out there.
Everywhere out there in the Pacific Northwest, from Oregon up in through Washington. I mean, they've got a bunch of them, and they're all great. I don't know if one's better than the other, but it's just great that there are a lot of these small craft breweries that are there, and in many cases, they're not ever going to be anywhere but there, and that's great too because that makes you have to go there to get it.
Exactly. And people do travel. They have a passion for it, but that basically, you've given all the science about this particular Zwickel, right?
Yes,
Zwickel.
Yep.
And how you feel about the flavor and everything like that. Well, in the words of Popeye, Tom and I, we am what we am. I am what I am. He is what he is. It is what it is. And I think we're going to ride with what we have. I think we're going to ride that flying carpet, the magic carpet. You know, what was that? Steppenwolf? Magic Carpet Ride? The old song? I think it was Steppenwolf. It's a good song from the 60s. Now, could you do me a tiny, before we say goodbye, so long. So long. Yeah, I made a joke about so long about John Holmes, the porno legend. Do they ever say so long to him when he finishes a movie? So long. So long. And then you said something about it dragging on the ground or something. Anyway, before we say so long, do me a tiny favor. Could you please, for a photograph for the internet, could you please grab the growler bottle and hold it very closely up to the side of one of your cheeks? And could you get close to the camera and make a mean, snarling, growling face showing teeth?
Growling? Why do you want me growling?
No, because it's called the growler. I want to do
I get it.
for a photograph. And just hold it there, and there you go. Alright. That's about as snarly as you get, right? Show some teeth. Show some teeth. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. Snarl. Snarl. Now we can't see the growl. Alright, move back a little. Move back a little. Alright, growl again. Move over. This way. This way. Little over. Alright, perfect. Perfect. That's it. That's it. I'll get a good photo out of that.
Do what you can.
Okay. Thank you for joining us for the Food and Beer Whisper. Thank you very much, Tom Overhill. As always, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
And to all you viewers out there, the pleasure was all yours. That's right. Zwickel. Good for the damn
pickle.
Good for that damn pickle.
The Zwickel's good for your pickle. I'm 47 and I've got the sex drive of an 18-year-old. How about that?
Hey, you wanna talk about being ageless? Go to my one of my groups called the Meal Ticket about Indian and Persian club swinging, and there are 2 videos of a 70-year-old Bruno Sammartino lifting weights, doing a dumbbell bench press with 100-pound dumbbells in each hand, and and doing a lot of reps on the bench with over 250 pounds, a 70-year-old man. And,
wow.
And then curling big dumbbells and all that. Oh, forget about it. Talk about an old school professional athlete that actually loved what he did, and did not rely on steroids or didn't have greedy sports agents trying to suck an enormous amount of money that they're not really worth, and then which results in the fans' tickets being jacked up in price. Now we're talking about dedicated, old school, old time sports legends, and that's who I want to salute with the shillelagh in every popular sport. All the legends of the past who were dedicated, who loved their sport, and weren't juiced up cheaters like today, like your Barry Bonds and all the others. Natural athletes. Jim Thorpe, Eugene Sandow, all of them. George Hackenschmidt, all the greats. Lou Gehrig, Babe Ruth, Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, Stan Musial from the St. Louis Cardinals. All of them. All right. Take care. Bye-bye.